Picture this. A woman steps into the chaos of a crowded airport terminal, her heels clicking against the polished floor with the kind of confidence that turns heads. She's not just any traveler. At 35, Jade Marshall is a force of nature. A black woman from the gritty streets of Detroit who's clawed her way through every barrier life threw at her. Racism, sexism, and the old boys club of the intelligence world that never saw her coming. 12 years at the CIA have sharpened her into something extraordinary, a predator disguised as prey. With eyes that see what others miss and a mind that unravels secrets before they even know they're exposed. Today, though, she's not chasing terrorists in some war-torn desert. She's boarding a plane. And if you think that sounds simple, buckle up. This flight is about to become the most explosive ride of the year. Jade adjusts the sleek black tie pin on her jacket as she moves through the terminal, her carry-on rolling smoothly behind her. To the untrained eye, she's just another first-class passenger, elegant, poised, maybe a little aloof. But that tie pin? It's not a fashion statement. It's a high-tech CIA gadget. A camera so advanced it could catch a whisper in a hurricane. And her phone? It looks like she's scrolling Instagram. But every tap logs data into a secure system only a handful of people on Earth can access. She's not here to relax. She's here to hunt. 12 hours ago, in a dimly lit hotel room, her secure line buzzed with the gravelly voice of director Sam Carter, her mentor and the man who'd handpicked her for this gig. Jade, he'd said. The airline CEO knows your cover, first-class passenger, nothing more. The crew? They're in the dark. Your real mission? Sniff out the drug smuggling ring we've traced to Greatland Airways. It's classified at the highest level. Don't screw it up. Jade didn't flinch. She never does. After dismantling a terrorist cell in Eastern Europe that saved thousands, without a single headline to show for it, this was just another day at the office. Except this time the battlefield was 30,000 feet in the air. What makes Jade special isn't just her flawless record or her razor-sharp intellect. It's something deeper, something you can't train, an almost supernatural sixth sense. She notices everything. As she glides through the terminal, she catches a toddler stumbling before his distracted mother even turns around, steadying him with a gentle hand. She clocks the faded security badge on a maintenance worker, 2 years out of date, a red flag most would miss. She overhears 2 TSA agents muttering about a scanner glitch. Their eyes anywhere but their post. Each detail gets logged, not on paper, but in that steel trap mind of hers, and in her app disguised as a selfie filter but feeding straight to Langley. Her target today? The flight crew. Specifically, one name flagged in her briefing, Lauren Hayes, a 34-year-old flight attendant with a smile too perfect and a rap sheet too clean. Jade's mission is to watch, to listen, to peel back the layers of this polished facade and find the rot underneath. The CIA's intel suggests Greatland Airways has been a pipeline for high-value narcotics, prescription drugs, cocaine, you name it, slipped across state lines in crew bags. Right under the noses of oblivious passengers. And Jade's here to catch them red-handed. She settles into seat 3A first class, her dark eyes scanning the cabin as passengers file in. The elderly white couple and Tubi laugh over a shared joke. A CEO in a tailored suit taps furiously on his laptop in 1C. And then there's her, the only black woman in the sea of privilege. A fact that doesn't escape her notice. She's used to standing out, used to the stares, the assumptions. But today those assumptions are about to ignite a firestorm no one sees coming. Across the tarmac, Lauren Hayes rushes through the employee entrance, her blonde hair catching the light, her designer watch glinting like a trophy. At 34, she's a walking contradiction. Polished on the outside, crumbling within. Credit card debt chokes her like a noose, and the promotion she's chased for years keeps slipping through her fingers. First class isn't what it used to be, she mutters to her colleague Ethan Brooks, a nervous 28-year-old with 5 years under his belt and a habit of looking the other way. They let anyone with money up here now. Ethan forces a laugh, but his eyes dart away. He's heard her rants before, her bitterness about diversity hires. Her snide remarks about passengers with names she can't pronounce. He doesn't like it, but he doesn't stop it either. What Ethan doesn't know, what no one knows, is that Lauren's resentment has festered into something far uglier. 6 months ago, a first-class passenger slipped her an offer she couldn't refuse. Move packages through security, no questions asked, and pocket cash that'd keep her creditors quiet. It started small, a few pills here, a bag of powder there. Now in the airport bathroom. She's on the phone with her contact, voice low and sharp. "I've got the drop ready," she hisses, unzipping her makeup bag to reveal a vacuum-sealed package nestled between lipsticks. High-grade stuff, street values through the roof. "No, I'm not backing out. Do you know how much I owe?" She hangs up, checks her reflection, and paints on the perfect smile. She's untouchable. Or so she thinks. As Jade buckles her seatbelt and Lauren preps the cabin, two worlds are about to collide. One's a hunter, trained to spot lies in the blink of an eye. The other's a predator, cloaked in charm and teetering on the edge of ruin. The plane taxis down the runway, engines roaring, and the air hums with tension you could cut with a knife. Jade's watching, Lauren's scheming. And in the next few hours, one of them will light the match that burns everything down. If you've ever felt the weight of someone's judgment or wondered how far a lie can stretch before it snaps, you're not gonna want to miss what happens next. Hit that subscribe button because this story's about to take off, and it's heading straight for chaos. The plane hums at 30,000 feet, a sleek metal beast slicing through the clouds, but inside the first-class cabin, the real storm is brewing. Jade Marshall sits in 3A. Her posture relaxed but her eyes alive. Darting, scanning, cataloging every detail like a hawk circling prey. The elderly couple in 2B sip their champagne oblivious. The CEO in 1C mutters into his headset, lost in a world of numbers. And then there's Lauren Hayes gliding down the aisle with a tray of drinks, her smile so polished it could cut glass. To most, she's the picture of service. To Jade, she's a puzzle begging to be solved, and the pieces are already falling into place. Start small. Jade presses the call button above her seat. Testing the waters. 1 minute ticks by. Then 5. Lauren sweeps past, her blonde hair swishing, delivering a scotch to the CEO with a syrupy "Right away, sir." All dimples and charm. But Jade's light stays on, ignored, a silent challenge blinking in the dim cabin. When Lauren finally stops, it's with a curtness that could freeze fire. "Did you need something?" she snaps. "No, ma'am, no warmth, just a clipped edge that screams disdain." "Sparkling water," Jade replies, her voice smooth as silk, her face a mask of calm. Lauren practically tosses the glass onto her tray, the liquid sloshing while the couple in 2B gets their drink set down like fine china. Jade logs it, discrimination in the little things, the kind most miss but she's trained to catch. She's not just watching Lauren's attitude, though. She's watching her hands, shaky when they pour, lingering too long near her crew bag. She's watching her glances, furtive, flicking toward Ethan Brooks, the twitchy 28-year-old hovering near the galley. And she's listening, catching the hushed fragment of a conversation that cuts off when a passenger shuffles by. The drop set, Lauren mutters to Ethan, barely audible over the hum of the engines. Ethan nods, pale, his fingers drumming against his thigh. Jade's fingers dance across her phone, disguised as a mindless scroll, but every word, every twitch is locked into CIA servers miles below. Then it happens, turbulence hits like a fist, sudden and brutal. The plane lurches. Lights flicker, and a chorus of gasps fills the cabin. Oxygen masks dangle like ghosts as the captain's voice crackles over the intercom. "Folks, we've hit some rough air, stay seated, belts on." Passengers clutch armrests, the CEO's laptop clatters to the floor, and Jade grips her tray, her senses on high alert. This isn't just weather. It's opportunity, and Lauren seizes it. Under the chaos, Lauren slips to Jade's row, her movements quick, deliberate. She leans over, pretending to adjust the blanket Jade never asked for, her voice dripping with fake concern. "Thought you might need to stay warm." But Jade's instincts scream something's off. Lauren's hand dips into her apron pocket, then brushes against Jade's seat cushion. A heartbeat later, she's gone. Retreating to the galley as the plane steadies. Jade waits, counts to 10, then slides her hand beneath the blanket. Her fingers close around two objects, a small, vacuum-sealed package, drugs. No doubt, and something heavier, colder. A gun. A compact pistol loaded, slipped right where she'd sit on it. Her pulse doesn't spike. It slows. This just got personal. Lauren's back in the galley now, hands trembling as she stashes her crew bag. She doesn't know Jade's already onto her. She doesn't know that tie-pin camera caught every move. The drug drop she made earlier in the first-class bathroom. The handoff to a slick-haired passenger in 4C whose jacket pocket bulged on his return. And now this, the boldest play yet. Jade's mind races. Lauren's not just smuggling. She's framing her. Weaponizing the chaos to paint her as a threat. A black woman in first class with drugs and a gun? It's a story that writes itself, one Lauren's banking on everyone believing. The plane levels out. But the tension doesn't. Jade presses her call button again, this time with purpose. Lauren storms over, her facade cracking. What now? She hisses, loud enough for heads to turn. I'd like that blanket you offered, Jade says, her tone cool, her eyes locked on Lauren's. It's a dare, show me what you've done. Lauren falters, then grabs a blanket from the overhead bin, tossing it onto Jade's lap with a smirk. Anything else? She snaps. Jade smiles faintly. Not yet. 20 minutes later, Lauren makes her move. She strides to Jade's seat with Ethan and a plainclothes air marshal in tow, a burly man with a buzz cut and a hand hovering near his holster. Excuse me, Lauren announces. Voice booming for the whole cabin to hear, I need to check your seat, now. Passengers perk up, phones already out, sensing drama. Jade tilts her head, unfazed. May I ask why? We've had reports of suspicious activity, Lauren says, her eyes glinting with triumph. Safety protocol. The air marshal steps forward, gruff. Ma'am, under FAA rules, we can search if there's a threat. Stand up. Jade complies, slow and deliberate, as Lauren dives for the cushion. She pulls out the package first, holding it aloft like a trophy. What's this? She cries, milking the gasps from the crowd. Then the gun gleaming under the cabin lights. She's armed. Lauren shrieks, stepping back as if Jade might lunge. The cabin erupts, whispers, cries. A woman in 2C clutching her pearls. In first class, no less. The air marshal draws his weapon, barking. Hands where I can see them. Phones are rolling, live streaming the humiliation. The accusation, the spectacle. Jade raises her hands, her composure a steel wall. That's not mine, she says, loud and clear, her gaze piercing Lauren's. Someone planted it. Lauren scoffs. Playing to her audience, in your seat? Ridiculous, are you accusing me? Jade's lips curve, just a fraction. Not yet. The air marshal gestures her toward the back. We'll sort this on the ground. Move. As she walks the aisle, cameras trailing her every step, Jade leans close to Lauren. Close enough to feel her flinch and whispers, You've just lit a fuse you can't put out. Lauren's smirk wavers, a flicker of doubt breaking through. She has no idea she's just declared war on the wrong woman. Back in her triumph, Lauren's already spinning the narrative to Ethan. Told you she didn't belong here. Caught her red-handed. Ethan shifts, uneasy but says nothing. The video's already hitting social media. Flight attendant busts armed drug smuggler in first class. Racking up views by the second. Lauren's basking in it, oblivious to the storm she's unleashed. Jade's not just any passenger. She's a CIA predator with every move recorded, every lie exposed. And a reckoning locked and loaded. If your heart's racing right now, good it should be. This isn't just a flight gone wrong, it's a chess game at 30,000 feet, and the Queen's about to strike. Hit subscribe, because what happens when this plane lands will blow your mind, and Lauren's world wide open. The plane touches down with a jolt, but the real turbulence is just beginning. Jade Marshall walks the aisle, flanked by airport security, her head high. Her dignity a fortress despite the whispers slithering through the cabin. Can't believe they let someone like that in first class, a woman hisses, her phone still recording Jade's every step. Always check who's next to you. Another mutters, smug and loud. Lauren Hayes watches from the galley, her arms crossed. A smirk curling her lips as the viral video she uploaded, flight attendant busts armed drug smuggler, ticks past 1 million views. She's the hero now, or so she thinks. She has no clue the woman she's framed isn't just a passenger. She's a predator about to turn the tables. In a stark airport security office, gray walls, a chip desk, 2 nervous officers, Jade sits. Hands uncuffed but resting lightly on her lap. The lead officer, a barrel-chested man with a buzz cut, starts in. Ma'am, we'll process you, then you can. Jade cuts him off, her voice like a blade. Calm but unyielding. Call this number. Tell them you've got Jade Marshall in custody. She slides a black card across the desk. No name, no title. Just a government seal and 10 digits etched in silver. The officer hesitates, then dials. 30 seconds later, his face drains of color. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Of course, sir. The line clicks dead, and the room shifts, handcuffs vanish, apologies stumble out in a rush. Ma'am, we had no idea who you were. How can we assist? Jade's eyes don't waver. I need a secure line to Langley, transport, and every security feed from the last 4 hours. Now. Meanwhile, Lauren's soaking in her moment. Back on the plane, prepping for its next leg. She's surrounded by crewmates, her phone glowing with notifications. Did you see her face when I pulled the gun? She laughs, replaying the clip for Ethan Brooks, who fidgets beside her. As darting to the exits. Priceless. Sent it to corporate already, might finally get that promotion. Another attendant chimes in, you should go live on the news. They're calling you a hero. Lauren's chest swells, her smugness a shield. She doesn't see the cracks forming Ethan's unease, the text from her supplier buzzing in her pocket. Saw the video. Too much heat. Lay low. She brushes it off. Attention's her armor now. Across town, Jade strides into CIA headquarters, her tailored black suit a stark contrast to the casual travel gear she wore hours ago. Director Sam Carter waits in a secure briefing room, his grizzled face set in a frown. I take it things didn't go as planned, he says, leaning back in his chair. Jade unpins her tie-pin camera and plugs it into a laptop, a faint smile tugging at her lips. Actually, they went better. The screen flares to life, high-def footage from 30,000 feet. Every damning second laid bare. Lauren retrieving a package from her crew bag in the galley. Lauren slipping drugs to the slick-haired passenger in 4C. And then the clincher. Lauren planting the drugs and gun under Jade's blanket during the turbulence. Her hands quick but not quick enough. Meet Lauren Hayes, Jade says, voice steady. Not just a racist flight attendant. She's running drugs and she's weaponizing bias to cover it. Carter's jaw tightens. Drug smuggling and a frame job with a firearm? That's a federal jackpot. Jade nods. She picked me because I'm the only black woman in first class. Figured no one would question her story. But she's not alone. Watch this. The footage shifts, Lauren passing a second package to Ethan in the galley, their whispered exchange caught in crystal clarity. Drop stun. Keep your mouth shut. An analyst pipes up. Pulling Ethan's file. Ethan Brooks, 28, 5 years with the airline. No record yet. Jade crosses her arms. He's her mule, but she's the brains. And I bet my badge this goes deeper than 2 rogue crew members. Carter studies the screen, then turns to Jade. How big do you think this ring is? Big enough to risk planting a gun on a federal agent, she replies, her tone ice cold. They've been targeting passengers of color for years, plant evidence, create distractions. Let the system's biases do the rest. I've got 7 incident reports from the past year alone. Same pattern, no charges filed, just humiliated passengers. Carter nods, decisive. Then we take it down. How do you want to play this? Jade's eyes glint with something dangerous. I think it's time Lauren Hayes meets her new boss, me. At Greatland Airways headquarters. Panic's brewing in the executive boardroom. The videos hit 5 million views and the PR nightmare spiraling, hashtags like #RacistAirline trending alongside Lauren's clip. CEO Richard Grayson, a silver-haired man in his 60s, paces, his voice sharp. What do we know about this passenger? The head of security shifts uncomfortably. Jade Marshall, first-class ticket. DC to LA with a Chicago stopover. But her file's locked, government clearance blocks everywhere. We called her number. Got bounced to some Fed who said she'd reach out when she's ready. Grayson stops cold. A Fed? Are you saying we detained a government agent? Silence drops like a guillotine. The security chief clears his throat. It's worse. I pulled the unedited gate footage. Lauren planted the drugs and the gun. Clear as day. Gasps ripple through the room as the screen lights up with the damning evidence. Grayson's face hardens. And this woman works for us? His phone buzzes, Transportation Security Administration. When he hangs up, he's ashen. That was the TSA director. Jade Marshall's a CIA operative. Running a security sweep on our airline. This isn't just a PR mess, it's a federal investigation now. She's coming here tomorrow to brief us. No one tips off Hayes or her crew. Understood? Back at the airport, Lauren's oblivious, primping in the crew lounge mirror. Her phone's a symphony of praise, 10 million views now. A morning show slot booked for 11 a.m. They're meeting us this afternoon, CEO himself. A colleague gushes, waving an email. Recognizing Flight 237's crew for security awareness. Lauren, you're getting promoted. Lauren's grin widens. Rehearsing her lines. I was just doing my job, passenger safety first. She doesn't say how good it felt to see Jade led away, how right it seemed to put her in her place. She doesn't know the trap's already sprung. Jade's coming and she's bringing hell with her. Lauren's viral fame? It's about to become her viral downfall. If you're hooked on this twist, and trust me, you should hit that subscribe button. Because when these two face off tomorrow, it's not just a reckoning, it's a demolition. And you won't believe who's left standing. The conference room at Greatland Airways headquarters buzzes like a beehive on fire. Flight crews from every corner of the airline pack shoulder to shoulder, their chatter electric with anticipation. They're here for what they think is a celebration, a pat on the back for Lauren Hayes, the viral hero of Flight 237. At the front row, Lauren sits ramrod straight, her uniform crisp. Her blonde hair gleaming under the lights. She's rehearsed her modest smile in the mirror a dozen times, just doing my job, and her heart's pounding with visions of a promotion. Maybe even a corner office. Beside her, Ethan Brooks fidgets, his 28-year-old frame hunched, as darting to the security guard stationed at every door. Why are they here? He whispers, voice tight. Lauren brushes him off. Relax, it's for the CEO. You're paranoid. At 2 p.m. sharp, the side door swings open and the room falls silent. Richard Grayson, the silver-haired CEO, steps in. His executive team trailing behind. Faces grim, not a smile among them. Lauren adjusts her posture, ready for her moment. Good afternoon, Grayson begins, his voice clipped, devoid of the warmth these gatherings usually carry. Thank you for coming on short notice. Yesterday's incident on Flight 237 has drawn unprecedented attention, an incident that exposed a breach in our airline's integrity. Lauren's smile falters. This isn't the script she imagined. Whispers ripple through the crowd, confusion replacing excitement. Grayson pauses, then turns to the door. Today, we're joined by someone who will lead a joint task force with federal authorities to address this. Please welcome Special Agent Jade Marshall, CIA. The door opens again, and there she is, Jade. Transformed. Gone is the casual traveler from the plane. In her place stands a woman in a tailored black suit, CIA credentials dangling like a badge of war around her neck. Her stride is deliberate. Her presence a thunderclap. Lauren's face drains of color, her mouth parting in a silent gasp. Ethan half rises, then freezes as a security guard. Plainclothes, federal, not corporate, blocks his path. The room's silence is suffocating. Every eye locked on Jade as she steps to the podium. Thank you, Mr. Grayson, Jade begins, her voice ringing clear and unshakable. For those who don't know me, I'm Special Agent Jade Marshall, Central Intelligence Agency, Counter-Drug Division. Yesterday, I was on Flight 237, not as a passenger, but as an undercover operative assessing security protocols. She nods to a technician, and the massive screen behind her ignites, high-definition footage from her type-in camera. Every frame a dagger. Lauren retrieving drugs from her bag. Lauren planting the package and gun under Jade's blanket during the turbulence. Lauren handing off a stash to Ethan in the galley, their hushed plotting laid bare. Gasps erupt, hands fly to mouths. And heads swivel toward Lauren, who's shrinking in her seat, her smugness evaporating. What you're seeing, Jade continues, isn't just racial profiling or a false accusation. It's evidence of a drug trafficking ring using commercial flights as their highway, targeting passengers of color to deflect suspicion when they're cornered. The footage rolls on Lauren's pattern across 7 flights, singling out minorities, planting evidence, watching them hauled away. Lauren Hayes didn't just frame me because I was in first class. Jade says, her gaze locking onto Lauren's. She did it because she thought a black woman wouldn't be believed. She was wrong. Lauren bolts upright, her voice shrill. That's fake. She's lying, you can't trust her. But the room's turning against her, eyes narrowing, murmurs growing hostile. Ethan cracks first, lurching to his feet. She made me do it, he blurts, pointing at Lauren. She said we'd never get caught, said security doesn't check crew bags. It was all her. Lauren lunges at him, hissing, shut up, you idiot. But 2 federal agents materialize, grabbing her arms. Miss Hayes, Mr. Brooks. One says, voice flat, you're coming with us. The agents start to lead them out, but Lauren twists free, her composure shattering into a wild, desperate snarl. You can't do this, she screams, rounding on Jade. Everyone saw my video, they know she's the criminal. You people always stick together, don't you? The racial venom in you people lands like a slap, and the room recoils. Some crew members physically lean back. Others shake their heads. Jade steps down from the podium, closing the distance. Her calm a stark contrast to Lauren's unraveling. "Miss Hayes," she says, voice low but carrying to every corner. "I've faced worse than you in places you'd never survive. I've spent 12 years serving this country, breaking ceilings you can't even see. You used racism as a shield for your crimes. That ends today." A voice cuts through from the back. A black flight attendant, mid-40s, stands, her tone firm. "She's lying, Lauren. You've targeted passengers like me for years, questioned our tickets. Moved us away from white folks. We all saw it. We just didn't speak up." Nods ripple through the crowd, a dam breaking. Ethan, seeing no way out, spills more. "She hooked up with the supplier 6 months ago. Easy money," she said. "I didn't want to, but she wouldn't let me back out." Lauren's face crumples, the fight draining as agents cuff her. Her wrist snapping shut with a metallic click. "You're facing federal charges," one agent says. "Drug trafficking, evidence tampering, illegal firearm possession, civil rights violations. Save it for your lawyer." As Lauren's dragged away, her final glare locks on Jade, venomous but powerless. "They'll still believe me," she spits. "People will see what they want to see about you." Jade's response is quiet, piercing. "That's why I keep showing up, and why the truth always wins." Lauren stumbles, the reality crashing down, her fame, her future, her freedom, all ash now. The room watches in stunned silence as she and Ethan disappear through the door, the echo of her protests fading into nothing. Grayson steps back to the podium, his voice heavy. "What we've seen today is a failure of security, of culture, of trust. But it's also a chance to rebuild." He glances at Jade, a nod of respect. "Agent Marshall will guide us forward. This ends here." The meeting that started with applause ends in a reckoning. A room full of shaken employees, a company on the brink, and one woman standing tall amidst the wreckage. Lauren's viral video? It's still out there, but now it's flipping. Comments turning from praise to outrage as Jade's footage spreads like wildfire. The hero's a villain, the victim's a victor. And the world's watching it unravel. If this showdown's got your blood pumping, and it damn well should, hit that subscribe button. Because Jade's not done yet. And what comes next is bigger than one flight, one liar, or one fight. Justice is just getting started. The dust settles, but the echoes don't fade. In the days after Lauren Hayes' dramatic unmasking, the story explodes across every screen, every headline, every whispered conversation. Her viral video, once a monument to her so-called heroism, crumbles under the weight of Jade Marshall's footage, now racking up millions of views itself. Comments flood in. "She framed a CIA agent. Racist and a criminal, disgusting. Thank God for the truth." Lauren and Ethan Brooks aren't just trending, they're sinking. Their mugshots plastered beside headlines screaming "drug ring busted on Flight 237. But this isn't just about them anymore. It's about what they exposed and what Jade's about to fix. At a federal holding facility, Lauren sits in an orange jumpsuit, her designer watch swapped for steel cuffs, her perfect highlights dulled under fluorescent lights. Her lawyer's blunt. "With the video, Ethan's testimony, and a dozen witnesses, you're looking at 20 years minimum. Drug trafficking, firearm charges, civil rights violations, it's a slam dunk for the feds." She stares at the wall, the weight of her choices crushing her defiance. Ethan, in a separate cell, takes a plea, 8 years, a lighter sentence for spilling everything. Names, dates, drop points. The investigation snowballs. 3 more flight attendants across 2 other airlines arrested within a week. Their scheme of framing passengers of color unraveling like a house of cards. 2 years they'd operated, hiding behind badges and bias, until they picked the wrong target. Back at Greatland Airways, the reckoning's in full swing. CEO Richard Grayson stands at a press conference, cameras flashing, his voice steady but raw. What happened on Flight 237 was a failure of security, of trust, of who we are as a company. We're not running from it. We're facing it. Behind him, Jade Marshall looms large, not in person, but in impact. With her guidance, the airline rolls out sweeping changes. Mandatory anti-bias training for every employee, a passenger advocacy office to investigate discrimination claims, and a security overhaul that leaves no crew bag unchecked. Grayson doesn't flinch from the hard truth. We let this fester too long. That ends now. In a quiet office overlooking the tarmac, Jade sits across from Yasmin Collins, a black flight attendant who served 12 years with the airline. Yasmin's voice is soft but firm. "I've seen it before, what they did to you. Passengers treated like suspects just for existing. I reported it once years ago. Nothing happened. No proof, they said. Jade leans forward, her dark eyes steady. Did it ever happen to you? Yasmin nods slow. Not the drugs or guns, but the looks. The comments, Lauren's voice loudest of all. Your footage changed that. People had to see. Jade's expression softens. Would you lead the training program? We need voices like yours, someone who's lived it. Yasmin blinks, stunned. Me? You, Jade says, firm. You're not just a flight attendant. You're a witness and a fighter. 6 months later. Jade stands at the front of a training room at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, facing 30 new air marshals and airline crew members from across the country. The screen behind her glows with the now infamous footage, Lauren planting the gun, the chaos of Flight 237 unfolding in real time. This passenger was me, Jade reveals. Her voice cutting through the room's hush. But imagine I wasn't a federal agent with a camera. Imagine I was just a woman traveling home. How does this end? The silence is heavy. The answer unspoken but clear. Humiliation, disbelief, no justice. Just another name forgotten. She clicks to the next slide. Lauren's booking photo, time-stamped last week. Lauren Hayes got 20 years for drug trafficking, evidence tampering, and civil rights violations. Ethan Brooks and 3 others got 8 to 15. Their ring used bias as a weapon, targeting people they thought wouldn't fight back. It worked until it didn't. Jade paces, her presence commanding. The lesson isn't just about catching criminals. It's about the systems that let them thrive, the assumptions that blind us, the silence that protects them. Every day people face this without a badge or a camera. Our job is to change that. Across the country, Greatland Airways Flight 237 preps for takeoff again. In first class, a young black man settles into his seat, adjusting his tie. Yasmin Collins, now senior cabin crew, approaches with a warm smile. Welcome aboard, sir. Anything I can get you before we depart? He grins. Just a coffee, thanks. Small. Unremarkable, a moment of courtesy that should have always been normal. But it's a ripple, one of many spreading through an industry forced to look in the mirror. Jade's case didn't just bust a drug ring. It cracked open a conversation too long ignored. At Langley, Jade opens a letter slipped under her office door. It's from a flight attendant she's never met. From an airline she didn't investigate. After your story broke, I started watching my flights closer, it reads. The way we treat people, the things we assume, I'm speaking up now. It's hard. But I think of you and I find my nerve. Thank you. Jade smiles, tucking it into a growing stack, testaments to a shift she sparked. One case won't erase centuries of bias, but it's a wedge. A crack in the wall letting light through. In her final report on Operation Flight Risk, Jade pens words that'll later grace the FBI's Civil Rights Division wall. Justice isn't just punishing the guilty. It's building a world where doing right is the default, not the exception. She closes the file, her next assignment already looming, but for a moment, she lingers on this victory, not just hers, but everyone who's ever been unseen, unheard, unfairly judged. Have you ever stood up when you saw wrong or wished you had? Drop it in the comments, your story matters. If Jade's fight moved you, hit subscribe and share this. Because sometimes the biggest wins aren't just in the headlines, they're in the quiet changes that follow. See you in the next one. The sky's clear at Langley, but Jade Marshall knows better than to trust calm weather. 8 months after she brought down Lauren Hayes and cracked open Greatland Airways' dirty secrets. Her office is a quiet fortress, files stacked high, a single lamp casting long shadows across her desk. At 35, she's still the predator she was on Flight 237. But now her name echoes beyond the CIA's walls. A whispered legend among agents, a rallying cry for those she's inspired. That letter from the unknown flight attendant sits framed on her shelf, a reminder of the ripples she's set in motion. But tonight, as she sips black coffee at 2 a.m., her secure line buzzes with a call that pulls her back into the hunt. It's Director Sam Carter. His voice gruffer than usual, laced with urgency. Jade, we've got a problem. That drug ring you busted? It wasn't the whole picture. We've intercepted cheddar, someone's picking up the pieces. And they're not small fry. They're targeting you. Jade sets her mug down, her pulse steady but her mind racing. Who? She asks. We don't have a name yet, Carter admits. But they're deep, high-level connected. They've got a shipment moving tomorrow night, Dulles to Miami, and intel says they're watching you after Flight 237. This isn't just revenge, it's a power play. Jade leans back, a faint smile tugging at her lips. Then let's give them something to see. By dawn, she's on the move, her black suit swapped for a leather jacket and jeans. Undercover. But unmistakable to anyone who knows her. Dulles International hums with the usual chaos, but Jade's eyes cut through it like a blade. She's not boarding as a passenger this time, she's shadowing the shadows. The target, Flight 819. A late-night cargo run flagged by CIA drones tracking encrypted chatter from a burner phone tied to Lauren's old supplier. Her type-in camera's back, upgraded with thermal imaging. And her phone's loaded with a new app syncing live feeds to a tactical team waiting in Miami. She's not alone, 2 agents trail her at a distance, but this is her game, and she's playing to win. The cargo bay's a maze of crates and shadows when Jade slips in, her boots silent on the concrete. She spots the crew, 3 men, 1 woman, all in airline uniforms. But their movements are too sharp, too rehearsed. A crate marked medical supplies sits off to the side. It's seal tampered. Jade crouches behind a pallet. Her camera rolling as the woman, a wiry brunette with a scar across her cheek, pries it open. Inside, vacuum-sealed bricks of white powder enough to flood Miami streets for months. Hurry up. The brunette snaps, her voice low. The boss wants this clean, no mistakes like haze. A man with a buzz cut grunts, she screwed us, bringing that fed into it. Jade's jaw tightens. They're talking about her. Then it hits the trap. A faint click echoes from behind, and Jade spins just as a 4th figure steps from the darkness, a silenced pistol gleaming in his hand. He's older. Mid-50s, with a face carved from stone and eyes that know too much. Special Agent Marshall, he drawls, his voice smooth as oil. You've been busy. Jade doesn't flinch. Her hands steady at her sides. And you've been sloppy, she fires back. Who's pulling your strings? He smirks. Someone who doesn't like loose ends or legends. You should have stayed out of the sky after 2:37. He raises the gun, but Jade's faster, her hand darts to her belt, a concealed taser crackling to life. The bolt hits him square in the chest. And he drops, twitching as alarms scream through the bay. Chaos erupts, crates topple, the crew scatters, but Jade's team storms in, weapons drawn. The brunette lunges for a bag, but Jade's on her, pinning her to the ground with a knee to her spine. Who's the boss? Jade demands, her voice steel. The woman spits blood, grinning. You'll find out when he finds you. Sirens wail as the TAC team cuffs the crew. The shipment seized. $10 million in cocaine. A dozen arrests and a message sent. Jade's not done hunting. Back at Langley. The stone-faced man's ID comes up. Victor Crane, ex-military, a fixer for hire. His burner phone's cracked open, revealing texts to an encrypted alias. She's still a problem. Neutralize. Carter slams the table. This goes higher than we thought, corporate, maybe political. They're not just moving drugs. They're protecting power. Jade nods, her eyes burning with resolve. Then we climb higher. I don't stop till it's over. Carter sighs, half proud, half worried. You're a damn bulldog, Jade. Watch your back. Days later. Flight 819's bust hits the news. CIA foils airline drug plot. Linked to Flight 237 case. And the ripples grow. Airlines double down on reforms, spurred by Jade's unrelenting spotlight. Yasmin Collins, now a trainer, shares the story with new crews. She didn't just save us from them. She saved us from ourselves. Letters pour into Jade's office. One from a pilot who caught a suspicious crew member. Another from a passenger who stood up to bias mid-flight. Her legacy's no longer just a win, it's a movement. Jade stands at her window, the DC skyline glittering below, her next file open. Target unknown, high-level threat. She knows they're out there, watching, waiting. But so is she. Come get me, she whispers to the night, her smile sharp as a blade. This isn't the end. It's a new beginning and she's ready to soar. If this twist has you on edge, and it better, hit subscribe and tell us. Would you face the shadows like Jade? Share this. Because her fight's not over and neither's ours. Next time the stakes get higher, see you there. The night's thick with tension over Miami. The air heavy with the promise of a storm. Jade Marshall stands on the roof of an abandoned warehouse near the docks. Her leather jacket snapping in the wind, her eyes locked on the cargo plane idling 200 yards away. Flight 920, the latest link in a chain she's been chasing since Dulles. It's been 3 weeks since she took down Victor Crane and his crew. 3 weeks of sleepless nights peeling back layers of encrypted messages, shell companies, and dead-end leads. At 35, she's never been sharper, her predator's instincts honed to a razor's edge. Tonight, she's not just hunting a shipment. She's hunting the puppet master, the one Carter warned her about. The boss behind the shadows. Her earpiece crackles with Carter's voice, strained but steady. Jade, we've got a hit. Crane's phone traced to a private server in D.C. Ties to a board member at Apex Airlines, Henry Voss. Old money, ex-senator, untouchable until now. He's on that plane. Jade's jaw tightens, her mind flashing to Flight 237. Lauren Hayes was a pawn. Crane a soldier, but Voss? He's the kingpin, the one who turned commercial flights into arteries for his empire. He's mine, she says, voice low, final. Carter hesitates. He's got muscle, ex-special forces. TAC team's 20 minutes out. Wait for it, she cuts him off. No time. I'm ending this. The line goes silent, and she's gone, slipping down a fire escape. A shadow among shadows. The plane's cargo bay is a fortress of steel and secrets. Its ramp lowered as Voss's men load crates. More cocaine, weapons, cash, a multi-million-dollar haul. Jade creeps closer, her upgraded type-in camera rolling, thermal lens picking up heat signatures. 6 guards, armed to the teeth, and Voss himself, a silver-haired man in his 60s. Barking orders in a tailored suit that screams power. She spots a crate marked fragile, not drugs, but tech, encrypted drives, the kind that could hold blackmail on half of Washington. This isn't just a drug ring, it's a machine of control, and Voss is the engine. She's 20 feet from the ramp when a guard spins, his rifle snapping up. Contact, he yells. And the night explodes, bullets chew the pavement as Jade dives behind a shipping container, her taser out, her pulse steady. She fires, a crackling bolt drops the guard, but the others close in. A trained unit moving like wolves. Voss doesn't flinch, his voice cutting through the gunfire. Kill her. She's the last loose end. Jade rolls, grabs a fallen pistol and returns fire, 2 shots. 2 guards down, precise as a surgeon. Her training from a decade in war zones kicks in, every move a dance of survival. Then Voss makes his play. He ducks into the plane. The engine's roaring to life as the ramp begins to close. Jade sprints, dodging a hail of bullets, and leaps, her fingers catch the edge, her body slamming against the steel. She hauls herself up as the plane taxis, the last guard lunging at her. She twists, kicks his knee out, and sends him tumbling into the dark, 40 feet to the tarmac below. The ramp seals shut. And she's inside, alone with Voss in a cabin lit by the glow of instrument panels. He turns, a pistol in his hand, his smile cold as ice. You're persistent, Marshall. I'll give you that. But you're out of your depth. Jade stands, wiping blood from a grazed cheek, her eyes locked on his. And you're out of moves, Voss. I've got you on camera, drugs, guns, those drives. You're done. He laughs, a hollow sound. You think a video stops me? I own people, judges, senators, cops. You're a fly in my web. Jade steps closer, unflinching. Flies bite. And I've got a team landing in Miami with every frame I've sent. Checkmate. Voss's smile fades as the plane lurches. Her TAC team's chopper buzzing the wings, forcing it down. He fires. But Jade's faster. Her taser hits him mid-chest, and he collapses, convulsing, his empire crashing with him. The plane screeches to a halt, and agents swarm in, cuffing Voss as Jade retrieves the drives. Carter's voice breaks through. You crazy bastard, you got him. She smirks, breathless. Told you I don't stop. Days later, the fallout's seismic. Voss's arrest cracks DC wide open. Leaked drives expose a network of corruption. Politicians, CEOs, even a deputy director at the FAA, all tied to his drug and power racket. Apex Airlines collapses under federal scrutiny, its assets seized, its routes grounded. The news screams, CIA agent busts elite crime lord on cargo flight, and Jade's face is everywhere. A reluctant hero. Greatland Airways doubles its reforms, Yasmin Collins now a national voice for change, training crews with a fire sparked by Jade's fight. In her Langley office, Jade pins a new letter to her wall from a Miami baggage handler who turned in a crooked supervisor, inspired by her story. Her phone buzzes, Carter, gruff as ever, Voss is singing names, dates. The works. You've started a damn avalanche. She glances at the skyline, the storm clouds parting. Good, she says. Let it bury them all. Her next file sits open, target. Unknown network, but for now she lets the victory sink in. She's not just a predator, she's a force reshaping the sky one battle at a time. Her final note in the Voss report reads, "Power doesn't fall, it's torn down. Keep tearing." It's etched into CIA lore, a creed for the next fight. Jade's not done, there's always another shadow, another kingpin. But tonight, she's the apex. And the world knows it. If this finale's got your heart racing, and it damn well should, hit subscribe and tell us, what would you risk for justice? Share this. Because Jade's story isn't over, it's evolving, and the next chapter's waiting. Catch you in the skies. So there you have it, Jade Marshall, the woman who turned a first-class seat into a front-row ticket to justice, took down a drug ring, a racist flight attendant, and a corrupt kingpin faster than you can say peanuts or pretzels. The skies are safer, the bad guys are behind bars and somewhere out there. Lauren Hayes is probably still complaining about the prison Wi-Fi, because let's be real, she'd totally demand a 5-star review for her cell block. But while Jade's out there kicking shadows and rewriting the rules, what about us down here, stuck in economy with crying babies and $8 sodas? Think about it, 2025's a wild ride already. We've got AI writing stories. Hi, that's me. Phones smarter than our bosses, and airlines still losing our luggage like it's an Olympic sport. But Jade's fight? It's not just high-flying heroics, it's a mirror. Ever been judged for how you look, where you sit, or what you carry? Ever seen someone get the short end because of who they are? Jade didn't just bust Voss, she busted the idea that silence is safe. Next time you're on a plane, or at work, or scrolling X, look around. Who's getting the blanket and who's getting the boot? Maybe you're not a CIA badass, but you've got a voice. Use it. Because if Jade taught us anything, it's that the real turbulence isn't in the air. It's in the stuff we let slide. Here's the kicker. Though justice isn't a solo gig, Jade had Carter, Yasmin, even that baggage handler in Miami who finally grew a spine. So who's your crew? Who's got your back when the Vosses of the world come knocking? Drop it in the comments. Tell us about that time you stood up, or someone stood up for you. Or just confess you totally smuggle snacks past TSA. No judgment. Those pretzels are gold. We're all in this flight called life together, right? Oh. And one last thing, don't you dare leave without hitting that subscribe button. Jade's story might have landed, but there's more where this came from: crooks to catch, skies to conquer, and lessons to laugh at. Click it, join the crew, and let's keep the good fight flying. What's your next move? Gonna channel your inner Jade? Or just pray for an exit row seat? Tell us below. See you in the next takeoff.